Hello, my name is Ezekiel Anderson, and I will be delivering a presentation on the leadership profile of Nikki Haley. In today's day and age, leaders are everywhere. Everyone has the ability to write a book. Many people are on TV or they're a social influencer on a platform that way. So a leader that separates themselves from the group can be hard to find. But one of those leaders that stand out in today's world is Nikki Haley. She got her start in South Carolina. Her parents were Indian immigrants, and she went to work for them during her high school years as a teen and accounting for their business, Exotica International. Notable traits in this period of her life would be proactiveness and initiative. She didn't wait till she was an adult to get to work, and she took initiative to go ahead and get working in the workforce. As far as college, she attended Clemson University, where she received a degree in accounting, and then she went back to accounting for her parents after that for a couple years, and then after that she worked for a waste management company called FCR. And she did accounting for them for several years. Leadership traits during this period of her life would be honor, respect, and work ethic. She knew that her parents needed an accountant during this time, so she went back and worked with them, took a pay cut in order to do so, and then she eventually wound up landing another job. But she knew that accounting wasn't all there was for her, and that her local government she was disappointed in, so she got involved in her local government by joining the House of Representatives. When she took this seat on the House, she upset a man who had held the seat for over 30 years, but she won by a significant margin, and she had no problems upsetting establishment when she saw that it was not getting things done. She was productive during this time, and many times her views opposed that of the House leader. Because of this, a lot of the committees that she was on charge of or part of, she was taken off, but that was okay with her. As long as she was holding up her integrity and accomplishing what she told her voters she would, she was fine with that. So leadership trait emphasis during this period would be integrity and boldness. Another thing that happened during this time was she was foreseeing a market crash in South Carolina. So she got out of her own way and positioned to maneuver herself as a reformist so that she would not be a part of the government that had failed their people in this regard. The next political office she held was governor of South Carolina. During this campaign, she overcame several obstacles, one of which was proposed scandals. One of the other people running for governor had said that she was in 2 infidelity cases, but these were proven to be falsified. And also, she was called racial slurs. But she didn't position herself as a victim in these scenarios. And she won in spite of both of these. She wound up winning by over 10% in that first election. During this term, she got lots of revisions done for her state and ran a second time. The second time was actually held as a more successful term, and she got lots more done, and it was more popular. Leadership trait emphasis during this time would be integrity once again, resolve, and endurance. Next, Nikki Haley became an ambassador under the Donald Trump administration. During this time, she fought Russia and was harder on them than some others were. Some people, like Donald Trump, said certain things to Russia in order to save face, but Nikki Haley didn't let up, and she held Russia responsible for their crimes in Ukraine her whole time on this administration. She was a lot tougher on Putin and wasn't afraid. She was bold and a symbol of justice for this time. Symbols and traits of this period would be an emphasis on bravery, righteousness, and thoroughness. Another major area that she worked on in her time as ambassador was in the Middle East. Contrary to what some people believe, as far as the hard work that was done regarding Israel, it wasn't so much Donald Trump as it was Nikki Haley. She was the one making the phone calls and meetings and getting the work done. Trump simply wouldn't have enough time to do all that she did because he oversees the whole country as opposed to just foreign affairs. She protected justice for them and got them more equality that was more fair to all the other countries in that area. She also had dealings with the UNRWA. This is an organization that oversaw a lot of the refugees during the time under that administration. At the time, America was contributing an unfair and much more, a larger amount of money than any other country in the UN was as far as percentage. Of course, America is a bigger country, but still within percentage, they were contributing a much larger portion than anyone else. She saw that this was wrong and unjust and pulled back on our funding for this. Even so, the UNRWA was complaining to her, saying that schools would close down, the kids and refugees would grow up to be terrorists, and all sorts of threats because of this. But she called their bluff. She knew that other countries would pick up their fair portion and that none of this would happen. Eventually, because of their continued ingratitude, we dropped all funding into this department. Of course, Nikki Haley was right, and no schools shut down, and there were no major riots due to the lack of funding from the US. Leadership trait emphasis would be fortitude, intelligence, and justice. She demonstrated the ability to first with good foresight, and she fought for justice as far as America and foreign affairs as well as Israel. Nikki Haley was a great leader by example. She's a role model to many people today. She was always proactive throughout her whole life. She's extremely honorable, wise, and intelligent, as well as resilient. Something quite notable about Nikki Haley is the fact that she was teachable. She knew that she didn't always have the right answers, but that she could find them and that she could listen and learn. That's why her second term as governor was better than her first, because she was able to learn from her experience. With that said, she also couldn't be bought. No matter what peer pressure was given her, she always held to her beliefs in justice. She had the ability to be taught without being bought, possibly one of the greatest 1-2 punches in leadership. And she's an outstanding role model. Thank you.